The 2024 presidential election could witness a clash of ideologies and personalities. Imagine a showdown between Kamala Harris and Tulsi Gabbard. Harris, the seasoned Democrat, might face off against Gabbard, a former Democrat turned independent. This potential contest presents a study in contrasts, captivating the nation's attention. The political landscape remains uncertain. However, the possibility of a Harris-Gabbard race sparks intrigue. Their backgrounds, platforms, and public images differ significantly. This divergence sets the stage for a compelling and potentially divisive election cycle. Kamala Harris and Tulsi Gabbard have taken different paths to national prominence. Harris, a former senator and California's attorney general, ascended to the vice presidency. Her political journey reflects a steady climb through the ranks of the Democratic Party. Gabbard, a military veteran and former congresswoman from Hawaii, gained recognition for her anti-establishment stance. Her trajectory has been less conventional, marked by a departure from the Democratic Party and a shift towards independent politics. Their contrasting political evolutions underscore the fundamental differences in their worldviews. Harris embraces a more traditional liberal perspective, while Gabbard leans towards a more libertarian-infused outlook. These ideological distinctions would likely take center stage in a head-to-head campaign. Kamala Harris's political platform centers on a commitment to progressive values. Climate change ranks high on her agenda. She advocates for a transition to clean energy and stricter environmental regulations. Healthcare represents another cornerstone of her platform. Harris supports expanding access to affordable healthcare through a Medicare for All system. She believes healthcare is a right, not a privilege. Social justice issues also hold significant weight in Harris's platform. She has been a vocal advocate for criminal justice reform, LGBTQ+ rights, and racial equality. Her platform reflects a dedication to addressing systemic inequalities. Tulsi Gabbard's political platform diverges sharply from the Democratic mainstream. She is best known for her non-interventionist foreign policy views. Gabbard criticizes America's involvement in foreign wars and calls for a reduced military footprint abroad. She also levels sharp critiques at the military-industrial complex, arguing that it prioritizes profit over peace. Gabbard's stance on foreign policy resonates with some voters who feel disillusioned with America's global role. Beyond foreign policy, Gabbard emphasizes individual liberty and limited government. She supports reducing taxes, cutting regulations, and promoting free markets. Her platform reflects a libertarian streak that sets her apart from many Democrats. Section 5. Public Perception, Image, and Reality. Public perception plays a crucial role in any election. Kamala Harris, as the sitting vice president, enjoys significant name recognition. However, her approval ratings have fluctuated, reflecting the challenges of governing in a polarized climate. Tulsi Gabbard, while less well known to the general public, has cultivated a devoted following among certain demographics. Her anti-war stance appeals to some progressives and libertarians. However, her past support for conservative figures like Bashar al-Assad in Syria has drawn criticism. Both candidates will need to navigate the complexities of public perception. Harris must contend with the weight of incumbency and the potential for voter fatigue. Gabbard, on the other hand, must overcome her relative lack of name recognition and address past controversies. Section 6. Battleground States, a tightrope walk. In a tight presidential race, battleground states often determine the outcome. States like Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, with their mix of urban and rural voters, will likely be crucial in a Harris-Gabbard contest. Harris, as a Democrat, would likely find support in urban centers, but face challenges in more rural areas. Her progressive stances on issues like climate change and gun control could alienate some moderate and conservative voters. Gabbard's non-interventionist foreign policy might resonate with some working-class voters in these states. However, her libertarian leanings on economic issues could prove a liability in areas with strong union traditions. Both candidates would need to tailor their messages carefully to appeal to the unique demographics of these battleground states. Their ability to connect with voters in these pivotal regions could very well decide the election. Section 7. Strengths and Weaknesses, a Comparative Analysis. Kamala Harris's strengths lie in her experience, her command of policy details, and her ability to connect with diverse constituencies. As a former prosecutor, she brings a sharp intellect and a tough demeanor to the political arena. However, Harris has also faced criticism for her perceived cautiousness and her tendency to stick to scripted talking points. Some voters find her persona somewhat aloof and lacking in authenticity. Tulsi Gabbard's strengths include her charisma, her ability to connect with voters on an emotional level, and her outsider status. She is seen as a fresh voice in a political landscape often dominated by career politicians. However, Gabbard's weaknesses lie in her perceived lack of experience, her inconsistent policy positions, and her tendency to court controversy. Her past associations with authoritarian figures like Assad raise concerns about her judgment. Section 8. The X Factors: Unpredictable Variables. Predicting the outcome of any presidential election is fraught with uncertainty. Unforeseen events, external shocks, and last-minute surprises can dramatically alter the political calculus. The state of the economy, always a major factor in presidential elections, could play a decisive role. A strong economy would likely benefit the incumbent party, while a recession could create an opening for a challenger. Foreign policy crises also have the potential to upend campaigns. An international conflict or a terrorist attack could shift voters' attention towards issues of national security and leadership. The emergence of a third-party candidate or an independent challenger could further complicate the race. Such a candidate could siphon off votes from both Harris and Gabbard, potentially altering the outcome. Section 9. A Race for the Soul of America. A potential 2024 showdown between Kamala Harris and Tulsi Gabbard would be more than just a contest for the White House. It would represent a battle for the soul of America, a clash between competing visions of the nation's future. Harris, representing the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, would champion a more inclusive and equitable society. Her vision would likely emphasize social justice, environmental protection, and government intervention in the economy. Gabbard, with her blend of libertarian and populist impulses, would offer a different path. Her vision would likely focus on individual liberty, limited government, and a less interventionist foreign policy. The choice between these two candidates would present voters with a stark contrast, forcing them to confront fundamental questions about the role of government, America's place in the world, and the very nature of American identity. The outcome of this hypothetical election would have profound implications for the direction of the country for years to come.